Hello, my name is C. Radhakrishna. I am working as senior lecturer in chemistry at Government Polytechnic College, Gadwal. We have been learning environmental studies. We have seen so far air pollution, classification of air pollutants, okay, cause of air pollution definition. These are important terms we have learned. And effects of air pollution, specific air pollutants on human beings, animals, and plants also we have seen in the last class. Okay. Today let us try to learn the global effects of air pollution. The global effects include mainly the greenhouse effect, depletion of ozone layer, and acid rain. Okay, first let's take up see what is greenhouse effect, which is also called as global warming, and where do these greenhouse gases come from or emanate from, and what are the causes and consequences of greenhouse effect. Okay, first of all let us learn about the greenhouse effect. Okay, in the last class we have seen air pollution. What is air pollution? Air pollution is how did we define? Can anybody recall? Air pollution is excessive concentration of harmful gases, excessive concentration of unwanted material in the air that adversely affects human beings, animals, plants, and our property as well. Okay, that is what we defined as air pollution. Okay, and what causes this air pollution? We have seen in the previous classes the cause of air pollution. We have divided these causes into two categories, natural causes and man-made causes. The natural causes are, what are the natural causes? Explosion of volcanoes which spew lots of harmful gases and huge quantity of ash into the surrounding air. Okay, but also it releases, depending upon the intensity of the eruption, it also releases huge quantities of liquid magma, that is the liquid formed by molten rocks deep under the earth, which is coming out on its own pressure. This we call as lava. Okay, all these gases, ash and magma or lava, are released into the surrounding environment and air. That is eruption of volcanoes. Okay, then other natural causes, forest fires. These forest fires are the fires, uncontrollable fires that develop in the forests and they spread wildly, feeding upon the air that is blowing around, and this leads to the damage of huge quantities of forest cover. Already forest cover is scarce, but forest covers further accentuate the loss of forest and the consequent for wildlife residing in these forests. And flowers, say release of pollen grains. Third cause is release of pollen grains. Pollen grains are released by plants, flowers naturally into the surrounding atmosphere or air. Okay, sometimes they are released even to the water, surrounding water medium as well, for the sake of propagation of plants. Okay, and these pollen grains, when inhaled by humans or animals, they cause respiratory tract irritation and consequent problems. Okay, and then that brings us to the natural cause of or man-made cause of air pollution. Say 90% of air pollution is or even more is because of man-made causes. The first and foremost cause for air pollution, or the root of all evils, you can say, is unbridled population explosion or explosion in the human numbers. Okay, quite a few centuries ago, 4-5 centuries, not maximum, not centuries, okay, 3,000-4,000 years ago maximum, human population was easily countable. Okay, a few thousands it used to be, but in these few thousand years, past few thousand years, especially after the Anno Domini, the population started increasing along with the human civilization. It is increasing by leaps and bounds. No other animal on the surface of earth increases this fast. The numbers of no other animal increases this fast. Not only our numbers are increasing, we are dominating the entire nature. We are changing the nature as per our convenience. We are encouraging things which are convenient to us and banishing things which are inconvenient to us. So nature is being manipulated by human beings to accommodate the growing numbers of human population, and many species are becoming extinct every day on a day-to-day basis. Hundreds or even thousands of species present on the earth are becoming extinct. See, there is a help, there is a confidence, there is assurance in the diversity of species. Okay, but we are moving towards unispecies. Okay, that is only human being and other animals which are useful to us. So the variety is rapidly decreasing. If some catastrophe falls as and if human beings become extinct, okay, there is hardly much germplasm or variety is left to survive the vagaries of nature. So unbridled increase in the human population is the single most devastating cause for the ruining of the environment. Next we can say is industrialization. Rapid industrialization is essential. Rapid industrialization is essential to meet the growing needs of a growing population. See, we compare our lifestyle to any other animal. Animals, they live in harmony with nature, but we human beings, we manipulate nature. We use many artificial products, many synthetic products, apart from natural, many synthetic products manufactured in the laboratory or in the industry. Okay, for this we need establishing of huge numbers of variety of industries to cater to our various needs to sustain our artificial living or civilization. These industries, especially the chemical industries, pharmaceutical industries, paints, what not, most of the industries, they release harmful gases along with smoke, chemicals into the environment, into the air, polluting the air. So industrial pollution is very high in the modern times. It's the consequence of, it's the price we are paying to our progress. Okay. Likewise, emissions for the transport industry, vehicles. In any given, take any city, okay, city atmosphere is not clear, environment is not clear. In the night sky, in any city, most of the cities, you cannot see stars in the night sky, or the patterns or constellations which are visible to the naked eye in the sky, night sky, we cannot see, because in the cities and urban environment, because of heavy pollution of the air, not only from industries, but chiefly from the automobile exhaust. Okay, automobile exhaust. Luckily for us, for the past 10 or so years, the oil marketing government of India has banned mixing of lead compounds in the petrol and diesel. These used to be added, tetraethyl lead used to be added as a fuel additive, as specifically as an anti-knocking agent to improve the engine performance. Lead being a worst pollutant, government has banned for the past few years this addition of tetraethyl lead to the fuel. We are spared from the lead pollution, but all other pollutants are intact there in the vehicle emissions, like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, oxides of sulfur like sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, oxides of nitrogen, unburnt hydrocarbons, monocyclic and polycyclic, carbon particles, etc. All these are very much present even today in the vehicle emissions, causing heavy pollution. In any typical urban environment, 70% of the air pollution is because of emissions of vehicles, these transport vehicles only. Okay. So next comes deforestation. See, to meet the growing needs of the population, for their accommodation, for road laying, for construction of dams, for many purposes, forests for the supply of wood for cooking, for buildings, supply of wood for buildings, logs for buildings, for all these purposes, forests are being cut to accommodate the needs of growing population and our growing civilization, for establishment of industries, etc. For all these purposes, we are cutting the trees present in the forest, which goes by the name deforestation. Today itself I saw in the newspaper, in Canada, for one person there are about 10,150 trees, 10,150 trees. In India, for each person you have only around 28 trees. See the gap. And still we are producing a population, our Indian population is growing enormously. We are adding an Australia to India every year in terms of population, but not in the area. Area is remains essentially the same, but population which used to be supported is going on increasing. Okay, you can only imagine the consequences. So deforestation is taking place. Forests are our best bet against environmental pollution. They act as sinks of carbon dioxide. They replenish atmosphere with oxygen. They release oxygen into the atmosphere. They absorb carbon dioxide. And there are so many other benefits of these forests, okay, which you can hardly ignore, especially in the modern times of these trying environmental pollution conditions. Okay, But we are doing cutting these forests, indulging in this heinous practice of deforestation at our own peril, at our own collective peril. Okay. Then next is agriculture practices, pollution from agriculture practices. Modern day agriculture, since the area is not increasing, we want to supply more and more food, grow more and more food from the same plot of area. So farmers are resorting to what we call as intensive agriculture. This intensive agriculture uses application of chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, chemical herbicides, chemical insecticides. These pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, etc., they are sprayed onto the crops and in the farms. They pollute air also a lot. Okay. These pesticide residues, insecticide residues are finding their way into our food. Okay. And it is having already devastating effects. They are manifesting in the nation's health. Okay. Next cause is you can say radioactivity, natural radioactivity as well as human induced radioactivity. Human induced means we use radioactive materials for many purposes like fabricating nuclear bombs and producing nuclear power, fabricating nuclear fuels. In the Hyderabad itself we have NFC in the Secunderabad area, nuclear fuel complex where they fabricate nuclear fuel into rods for the use in the nuclear reactors for production of electricity. Then we also use these radioactive substances for medical purposes in the agricultural research, etc. These radioactive substances release very harmful radiations like alpha, beta and gamma radiations. If we are exposed to these radiations, they cause mutations, sudden changes in the genes of the population. These changes in the genetic material are inherited and passed on from generation to generation, which is highly dangerous. Secondly, they also induce and cause cancer in the population on exposure. And then the last cause we can enumerate is, besides there are many, but we are mentioning only a few, the oil leaks. Oil leak. Recently, papers are agog with the news of a leakage of oil from a tanker stranded for about 2 months, for the past 2 months in the Mauritius coast. That oil tanker was marred by the sea tides for the past 2 months, and it is leaking crude oil into the Mauritius coast, in the sea, and with all the devastating effects. Okay, all the devastating effects of this crude spread on the water. They are working like hell, but there is little solution for this. Okay, they have to face the ill effects. So these are some of the definition of air pollution, some of the causes of air pollutants. Okay, state the effects of air pollutants on the human beings. See, various air pollutants mainly cause respiratory problems to the humans, like asthma, bronchitis, and other allergical reactions, respiratory tract irritations, etc. Okay, these are the things we have learned in the past few classes. Okay, let us see what is the significance of plants. Plants are primary source of our food. Okay, and what is the gas consumed by plants? Carbon dioxide gas is consumed by plants, absorbed by plants, utilized in the photosynthesis, and plants thereby release oxygen gas back into the environment. They absorb the polluted carbon dioxide, and release essential oxygen. So you can't overemphasize the role played by the plants. Can you tell the hottest areas in our state? Mostly the mining areas are the hottest, like Kottagudem, etc. Okay, these areas are the hottest because of mining activity that is going on, and okay, mostly that is the reason. Greenhouse effect or global warming. See, what do plants do? They absorb sunlight and fix that energy in the sunlight to form carbohydrates in the natural reaction called photosynthesis. Okay, so the fixing of sun's energy on the earth, trapping of that energy is called as a greenhouse effect. Because of this trapping of excess energy present in the sunlight, slowly and steadily the global temperature is increasing because of the trapping of this energy. So the increase in the atmospheric temperature due to increase of some gases. Photosynthesis is natural, but trapping of heat energy of solar radiation, okay, coming onto the earth, its energy is trapped and retained in the earth's atmosphere by certain gases. Okay, this phenomena of trapping the heat from solar energy by some gases, these gases are called pollutants, some pollutant gases, is called as a greenhouse effect. As because of this trapping, there is the global mean temperature is increasing slowly and steadily. So this global increase due to this trapping of energy by certain gases is called as a greenhouse effect. This term has been coined by a scientist called J. Fourier, environmental scientist. The effect is so called, it is called greenhouse effect because the phenomenon is similar to the warming of air inside a greenhouse. Okay, this is because warming of air inside a greenhouse, so it is called as a greenhouse effect. Okay, the gases responsible for the greenhouse effect are called greenhouse gases. The gases which trap the energy from sun, they are called as greenhouse gases. They are called as greenhouse gases. See, in summer we sleep outside on the terrace, if you have terrace, or naturally outside. During the early part of the night, okay, that is 11, 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 11, 12, earth will be hot. You will not require any bed sheet to cover yourself. But during the early hours, latter part of the night, far latter part of the night, 3, 4, 5, early hours, okay, earth becomes cooler. And we feel chill. Sleeping outside, we feel the chill and coolness, and we cover ourselves with the bed sheets to keep ourselves warm. Why the coolness is increasing towards early hours or late night? What's happening? How can we explain this phenomena? See, what's happening is the earth gets surface of the earth and environment, air gets heated by the incoming solar radiation during the daytime. Earth gets heated by this incoming solar radiation. So without slippers or sandals or whatever it is, with a protective wear, we cannot walk during the daytime on the road barefooted. Okay, we cannot walk barefooted on the road because it will be very hot due to absorption of sunlight and heating up of the earth. During night hours, late night hours, we can walk because earth becomes cold and it becomes chilly also during the early hours of the day. what's happening is during the day hours, earth is becoming hot by absorption of energy from the sun rays, by absorbing energy from the sun rays, okay. And during the night hours, earth is radiating back, giving up this energy in the form of radiation. This form of giving up energy or the radiation is called as terrestrial. Terra firma is earth. Terrestrial means anything related to the earth, okay. So during night hours, earth is giving back this energy, whatever it's absorbed during day hours from the solar radiation or sun rays. During night hours, it is giving back or losing this energy, radiating this energy back into the cosmos in the form of terrestrial, terrestrial, terrestrial related to earth, okay, terrestrial radiation. Since this radiation is being given up or coming from the earth, we call it as terrestrial radiation. This terrestrial radiation is of lesser energy than solar radiation, and hence it is of a longer wavelength, okay. It's of a longer wavelength. Certain gases like methane, carbon dioxide, ozone, nitric oxide, water vapor, some of the chlorofluorocarbons, etc. See, this list is important, you will have to remember. Some of the gases like methane, carbon dioxide, ozone, nitric oxide, water vapor as well, and the chlorofluorocarbons present in the atmosphere. They absorb energy of this terrestrial radiation. Imagine these gases are not present in the environment, okay. All this terrestrial radiation will be radiated back and earth becomes cooler because these gases are present in the environment, okay. They absorb the energy from these radiations and trap it in the atmosphere, keep that energy from the escaping the environment. They will retain this energy in the environment itself. When the energy content of the environment is increasing, okay, when the energy content of the environment is increasing, its temperature increases slowly but steadily. This is what is happening because of this trapping of energy by carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, nitric oxide, water vapor, chlorofluorocarbons, all these gases, okay. The atmospheric temperature is increasing slowly and steadily, okay. Which is the gas that is being released in huge quantities? Obviously, the carbon dioxide is being released into the environment in huge quantities by the burning of the fossil fuels like petroleum products like petrol, diesel, and chiefly burning of the coal, and also of course burning of the vegetation like wood, etc., vegetation products like wood, etc., okay. All these are releasing carbon dioxide into the environment. This is happening because of human intervention, our activities. On one hand, we are increasing excessive quantities of carbon dioxide in the environment, and we are decreasing the absorption of this carbon dioxide by cutting off trees, by deforestation, okay. They are the natural absorbing the forests and plants, they absorb these gases naturally and carbon dioxide naturally, and they act as sinks of carbon dioxide. Because of human activities, we are accelerating the release of carbon dioxide, and because of human activity itself, there is a heightened increase of release of methane. Methane arises from the cultivation of rice, released into the atmosphere. It is also called as marsh gas. It is released because of decay of vegetative matter in the water. Okay, it's called as marsh gases. Marsh gas. It is also released, and methane is 7-8 times more potent than carbon dioxide in absorbing trapping heat energy from the terrestrial radiation during night hours. But its quantity is relatively lesser, but carbon dioxide is increasingly being released into the environment. So carbon dioxide is the main culprit. The major greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide. These gases trap more radiation from the sun and increases the temperature of the atmosphere. We have seen how it happens. Okay, I have explained you the mechanism. Okay, yeah, here you have got a diagram. Okay, during the day hours from sun you can see the yellow light coming. During the day hours solar radiation passes through the clear atmosphere. Incoming solar radiation is the converted to energy. Okay, 343 watt per square meter. Solar energy is absorbed by Earth's surface and warms it. Okay, and warms it. So Earth and its constituents absorb about 168 watt per square meter, and is converted into heat, causing emission of long wave radiation back into the atmosphere. Okay, so during day hours I told you Earth absorbs about 168 watts of per square meter, 168 watts of energy per square meter, and this goes to heat up the water as well as the earth, soil. Okay, this radiation, okay, some of the solar radiation is reflected by the atmosphere and the earth's surface. The outgoing solar radiation is okay, during day hours itself it is reflected back to the cosmos. It is about 103 watts per square meter. Okay, during the night hours, okay, Earth loses this energy in the form of mostly infrared radiation, long wavelength radiation. This will be absorbed by these gases, okay, greenhouse gases, and thereby trapping the heat energy. They trap the heat energy. Because this trapping of heat energy, okay, the retaining of heat energy in the atmosphere because of presence of these gases, absorption of heat energy by these gases, okay, the global mean temperature is increasing, which is called as greenhouse effect or global warming. This phenomenon happens in the troposphere. Okay. Source of greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is released by combustion of fossil fuels. Okay, like coal is huge quantities. Next, petrol, diesel, naphtha, etc. Okay, and also it is also released. Carbon dioxide is also released by natural process of respiration. Okay, we inhale oxygen-rich gas and we exhale carbon dioxide-rich gas. Okay. Next, methane. Methane is released mostly by decomposition of organic matter from the rice fields, coal mines, etc. Because of this, it is released because of decomposition of organic matter, vegetable matter from the wet areas. It's called as these wet areas are also called as marshy areas. Okay, marshy fields. Methane released from these areas is called as nicknamed as marsh gas. Okay, methane is about 7-8 times more potent than the more potent. That is, it absorbs 7-8 traps 7-8 times more quantity of heat energy than the carbon dioxide. But carbon dioxide is very huge, being released in very huge quantities, so it is the main culprit. Next comes methane. Next, chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons are released from the refrigerators, they are used for refrigeration and air conditioning, so they are released from refrigerators and air conditioners. Then nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is also a greenhouse gas. Okay, nitric oxide is released from plants, fertilizer plants, and burning of fossil fuels and wood also, wood, etc. Okay, these are the sources from which greenhouse gases are being released into the atmosphere or environment. The cause of greenhouse effect is okay. Greenhouse effect is accelerated by deforestation. It is increased by burning of fossil fuels, excessive use of chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, these are the causes of greenhouse effect. What happens due to greenhouse effect? Okay, the effects of or consequences of greenhouse effect. Effects or consequences of greenhouse effect are, say, huge quantities of ice is trapped in the polar regions in the form of polar ice caps or polar glaciers. Okay, because of increasing global temperature due to greenhouse effect, okay, this ice may melt. These ice caps may melt. Since huge quantities of water is locked up in these ice caps, melting of these ice caps has a potential of increasing or raising the sea level, mean sea level, by a few meters. Few meters I am talking of, permanently. So coastal areas in most of the countries like Bangladesh, Philippines, and our own India, coastal areas will submerge. Already land is very scarce. We are trying to reclaim land from the sea also, but because of rising sea levels due to the melting of polar ice caps, okay, because of increasing greenhouse effect and increasing temperature, global warming, okay, the mean sea level is going to rise by a few meters, inundating coastal areas. Okay, already scarce land becomes still less available land. It affects the ecosystem. It decreases the surface water and groundwater, because more temperature means more and more water evaporation. Okay, so reduces surface water and groundwater. Already water is very scarce. It increases infectious diseases like dengue, malaria, yellow fever, etc. Okay. High temperature during the winter decreases the yield of cereals and fruits. High temperature during the winters decreases the yield of cereals and fruits due to reduction in the moisture. It favors growth of fungus, microorganisms and pests, causes unseasonal rains and cyclones. We are seeing now that pattern very much. Okay, unseasonal rains and cyclones. So what have we discussed so far in this chapter? We discussed about greenhouse effect, the causes of greenhouse effect, effects of greenhouse effect, consequences of greenhouse effect. From this topic, questions asked are, what is greenhouse effect? Write a note on global warming. Either of the questions can be asked. Okay. Which of the following is a greenhouse gas? Obviously carbon dioxide is greenhouse gas. Answer is A. Which of the following is not a greenhouse gas? Methane is a greenhouse gas. O3 is a greenhouse gas. N2O and NO both are greenhouse gases. Oxygen is not a greenhouse gas. So D is the answer. Oxygen is not a greenhouse gas. The increasing temperature is due to greenhouse effect. Increasing temperature is due to greenhouse effect itself. Answer is A. Okay. Objectives on completion of this period. Next, we'll also discuss the causes and effects of acid rain and depletion of ozone layer. Okay, let's learn. Okay, in the last class, just now we have learned greenhouse effect. What are the greenhouse gases, and what are the effects of this global warming we have seen. Okay, then let's learn about the acid rain. Say, if environment is excessively polluted by gases like oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of carbon, oxides of phosphorus, okay, these gases being acidic, okay, they are highly acidic gases, acidic in nature. If atmosphere is heavily polluted by them, that these will dissolve in the incoming rain and cause the rain to be acidic. This is called as acid rain. Okay. So acid rain happens because of acidification of water due to pollutants like non-metallic gases. Okay, pollutants like non-metallic gases. The pH of acid rain water is less than 5.6. Okay, less than 5.6. The acids present in the acid rain are mostly H2CO3, H2SO4, HNO2, HNO3. Okay, all these gases. Definition of acid rain: the rainwater containing more amount of acid is called acid rain. Causes of acid rain are, as I just mentioned, okay, the oxides of sulfur and nitrogen released from the industries, automobiles, and burning of fossil fuels like coal, wood, etc. All these release oxides of sulfur and nitrogen. If these oxides dissolve in the rainwater, the rain becomes acidic in nature. We call that as acid rain. Okay. What are the effects of this acid rain? It affects building made up of marble stone. The yellowing of Taj Mahal is example of the effect of acid rain. This is due to the oxides of excessive release of oxides of sulfur into the environment by the adjoining Mathura oil refinery. Mathura and Agra are side by side cities. Okay. In Mathura, we have a huge oil refinery belonging to IOC, Indian Oil Corporation. They release constantly acidic pollutants like oxides of sulfur and nitrogen due to processing of crude oil, and it is causing yellowing of Taj Mahal, which is also called as stone leprosy. So this acid rain turns oil in soil pH into acidic. Okay, acidic soil do not support plants much. Okay, so it decreases soil fertility. It causes corrosion of iron structures like our bridges and our bridges. It increases acidity of drinking water also. Okay, it affects water plants and aquatic animals. You can see the diagram. Okay, yellowing of leaves. Okay. Next, we'll go for the depletion of ozone layer. See, ozone layer is present in the stratosphere, that is from 11 to 50 kilometers above the sea level. Okay, this region is called as a stratosphere, and in stratosphere the ozone layer is present. This ozone layer is being diminished or being affected by due to chlorofluorocarbons, which are used in the refrigeration and air conditioning. Okay, the ozone layer is the stratosphere protects Earth from the harmful UV radiation. Okay, this ozone layer in the stratosphere protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation. Ozone in the stratosphere protects us, whereas ozone at the ground level or troposphere acts as a pollutant. Okay, so the ozone layer present in the stratosphere acts as a protected layer. It absorbs UV radiation of solar component. The causes of ozone layer depletions are the chlorofluorocarbons, which are also called as commonly as freons. Okay, these are released by cooling systems and the ACs, air conditioners and refrigerators. The cause of ozone depletion is not only chlorofluorocarbons but also the nitric oxide, which is released by jet planes. Okay, and chlorine gas released from industries also causes ozone layer depletion. So there are three causes. The chlorofluorocarbons are called as freons. These are released from refrigerators and air conditioners. they cause ozone layer depletion. They interact with the ozone layer and deplete it. Okay, nitric oxide released from jet planes also will act as a ozone layer depressant. Chlorine gas released from industries also, it will also reduce the ozone layer, deplete the ozone layer. Formation of ozone hole. Release of chlorofluorocarbons is causing ozone holes. Ozone hole was identified in Antarctica region previously. Okay. Effects of ozone depletion is it causes see, if ozone layer is not there, the solar radiation along with its ultraviolet component will also reach the earth. So ozone layer depletion causes the earth to be exposed to the ultraviolet radiation. This ultraviolet radiation causes skin cancer. It also causes cataract. Cataract is the hardening of transparent eye lens. Okay, it becomes opaque and eyesight will be affected. That is called cataract. It damages plants and wildlife. It decreases the rate of photosynthesis. So production will decrease. Plant production will decrease. Harvesting will decrease. It increases the atmospheric temperature also. It also increases atmospheric temperature. So we have learned about acid rain. Apart from the greenhouse effect, its causes and consequences, we have learned acid rain, the causes and consequences of acid rain, depletion of ozone layer, the causes and effects of this ozone layer. Let's try to work out a few questions. Which of the following oxides causes acid rain? Carbon monoxide, NO2, MgO, N2O. Both the first and second, carbon monoxide as well as NO2, both of them A and B will cause acid rain. Okay, when dissolved in rainwater. Taj Mahal is affected by greenhouse effect, acid rain, ozone layer, all the above. It is affected by the acid rain. Okay, acidic gases. Okay. Ozone layer is present where? It is present in the stratosphere about between 11 and 50 kilometers above the sea level. Okay, that layer of atmosphere is called as stratosphere. In the stratosphere area, we have ozone layer present. Okay, depletion of ozone layer causes skin diseases. It causes skin disease as well as cataract. Okay, answer is A. Okay. The frequently asked questions are: what is acid rain? What are the effects of it? Or write a note on the ozone depletion. Okay, these are the questions that can be asked from this chapter. Okay, from this topic. Thank you very much. I conclude my lecture now.